It's extras and epilogues. Open the theater. Lights, cameras, action. Movies and reviews, things you might not have known. What happens when the credits roll? Let's get on with the show.
A world-renowned K-pop girl group balances their lives in the spotlight with their secret identities as Demon Hunters. Oh, Hunter, K-pop Demon Hunters. Now I got it.
Now you got
Now I got
You got it.
This is the episode you've all been waiting for. We get cards, letters, constantly. When are you going to review K-pop Demon Hunters? When are you going to review K-pop Demon Hunters? I'm pretty sure that happened once, so tonight we're going to do that. We're finishing off Animation April with K-pop Demon Hunters. Lindsay's been waiting for this. She's very excited, and that's the move. Welcome to Extras and Epilogues. The theater's open once again. My name is Shannon Young. I'm going to be your host, and I am not Korean, but I would like to see a movie about Koreans, and here to do that with me today, let me introduce the cast. First up is, I have no way to tie this into the movie, so it's Double H.
Shannon the Leather has betrayed us.
Zach Kurgis, who looks like he's wearing the little hat that the bird wears when he stands in the right spot.
Where'd I get this little hat? We know where you got the hat. The bit doesn't work for this movie. Jubu literally says he made the hat for the cat and the bird keeps stealing it. Ah!
Bird's
Anyway.
Best character. Best character.
Yeah, but she doesn't know that when she says it, so it does work for the movie.
What is the bird's name?
Sissy.
Susie. Want that bird. And Lindsay Wolfgong, who actually might be a demon, or Korean, or both.
Or an alien.
Couch.
Fine cinema. All right, let's get to no, who the fuck are we kidding? K-pop Demon Hunters is a cultural phenomenon. It's one of the biggest hits in recent history. I mean, this thing is worldwide, and I didn't know anything about it going into it other than the basic plot of it. I bought the 3-pack on Fortnite. I play as Mira all the time. She's badass. So tonight was the first time that I actually watched the film, and I definitely have some thoughts, as do we all. We gave Encanto 2 thumbs up last night. Where is this one going to land? Let's talk about the film. Let's jump into it. Released June 20th, 2025, directed by Maggie Kang. Wow, is this the most recent movie we reviewed? I think it is.
No, I mean recently, but remember, we've done reviews like literally the weekend of theater.
No, I just mean lately. Like lately, this is the most recent film.
Oh, yeah. Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember anything more recent than this in recent history.
Is the other most recent one probably because it's 2 years back. You know.
Yeah. But I mean, in terms of these, like this year on E&E, it's almost definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But directed by Maggie Kang, who was the story artist for the Lego Ninjago movie and Kung Fu Panda 3 plus Puss in Boots, a great resume, and Chris Applehans, a visual artist from Monster House, Coraline, and The Princess and the Frog. Of all of that, I've seen Coraline and The Princess and the Frog. And I think I saw Monster House, actually. I saw all 3 of those. I've never seen Lego Ninjago. I've never seen Kung Fu Panda, and I've never seen Puss in Boots. Although I do want to watch Puss in Boots because I've actually heard it's pretty good. So that's on my list.
That whole series is that most recent one is apparently like a sleeper, like incredible movie.
I heard it was great.
Yeah. Yep.
That'd be a fun one to do sometime. Oh, God. Oh, please. Look, I'm going to kill myself before next year. So please let me have this.
Please stop.
It's an Antonio Banderas month.
Well, why not December? Just make him the guy in December. We always do somebody alongside the Christmas movies. Yeah, I didn't write it down. It's not official.
Ooh, we'll talk about it after the show. We won't waste time now, but we'll talk about it after the show. Written by Maggie Kang, Chris Applehans, Danya Jimenez, and Hannah McMecken. Yeah, that's good enough.
McMccann? McMecken?
Tanner, what is it? McDibic? Is it Dibic? Dibic. Tanner, please, don't leave me hanging. Dibic?
He's not here to do the bid. He can't do it.
Dibic? All right, fine.
Debuk.
Written. I'm assuming Did Maggie Kang and Chris Applehands have anything to do with the writing for those films, or just the directing and the visual artistry?
They were, so one of them was a story artist, one of them was a visual artist. So they didn't write the script for those movies, but those were their jobs. Visual artist is exactly what it sounds like. They help come up with the imagery before anything is actually fully committed and written, filmed. And then story artist is, again, also sort of what it sounds like. They're doing storyboards, basically. They're laying out the progression of the story itself.
Starring, it's a cast. I didn't know a lot of them, but I know some of them. Arden Cho. Lindsay, you do these names.
I don't have the notes.
You do have the notes. We all have the notes.
Hang on. Hang on. I'll just screenshot it. I'll just screenshot this part.
I was zipping up my hoodie so I could hide my patterns, but it's too hot, so it's got to come loose.
Lindsay, I'm going to put them in the Discord right now so that you can see them. I'm trying.
Try my best here.
Yeah, you'll do better than me.
Well, that's not what I was trying to do. Now they're going to go to the chat. That's fine, but what I need is for it to go to the actual text channel. There we go. Yeah. Also, Josie's cards are in there. You can see them. They're like 2 pictures up.
Josie's cards?
Yeah, that's the photo thing she was talking about.
Yeah, that's cool. Hello, friend. At McDonald's. All right, let's go.
Starring Arden Cho, An Hyo-seok, Mei Hong, and Jeong Yu.
Yes, now I can do the other ones. Also starring Kim Jong, or is it Jong or Jeong? It's Jong, right?
Jong. Yeah.
And my personal favorite. Let me get the button ready. Don't say anything yet. Let me get the button. Daniel Day motherfucking Kim, aka Johnny Gat from Saints Row. I was so excited to see he was in this movie. I love Daniel Day Kim. I'm a huge fan of Daniel Day Kim. I don't think he can sing that well, so there's no. It's obvious why they made him a non-singing character. But Daniel Day Kim is such.
Nobody who plays a role in this movie also sings.
Well, that's
true.
Characters, that's true. So, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah, at the end of the movie, Lindsay was telling me about was it Twice is the name of the group?
Twice is the K-pop band that did the
ending credit song,
for
closing
the
credits.
Ending credits
so
and stuff that way.
So they pop up, and the first thing I say is, "Oh, is that the girls that sing for them?" She goes, "No." I was like, "Was that the actresses?" No. Well, who the fuck are these people? Why are they getting airtime?
It's Twice.
That's Twice. And I went, oh, right, Twice. Why didn't I know that? Yeah, Daniel Day Kim. Daniel Day Kim. Running time of 95 minutes. He was also in that really bad Hellboy movie with David Harbour, which wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, but like compared to Ron Perlman and Guillermo del Toro's, just a sad state of affairs. But at least Daniel Day Kim.
Pretty much anything past that first Hellboy movie is not.
I didn't like the second
one.
one.
We keep making them?
I didn't like the second one.
No, that's what I'm saying. Why do we keep making anything after the first one?
Everyone talks about the second one like it's
not
better
necessary.
than the first. Maybe I'll go back and watch it. I know they got rid of Niles Crane and they added Stewie to it.
Yes, they did.
They did. Runtime 95 minutes. That's the sweet spot. Budget. Although I wish they had spared a couple extra minutes to explain any goddamn thing. Budget versus box office. $100 million budget versus $25 million, which is only theatrical. This is Netflix's most watched title ever at over 500 million views as of Christmas. Like I said, this is a cultural icon. I mean, this movie is huge. People lose their minds over this movie. It's
I would be surprised if it's not over 1 billion. If it's not over 1 billion views yet, I mean, granted, it took 6 months to get to 500, so maybe it's not quite there, but it'll get there. This is
because they had
decidedly their most streamed thing.
Mm-hmm. I had 325 million views within the first 91 days of release.
Ooh, yeah. You know who's really
so the first 3 months, and it came out in June.
You know who's really sweating those numbers right now? Disney. Did you see what came out today?
Yes.
Ooh. So they reported that Daredevil.
Was it Hoppers? I thought Hoppers was already out.
Daredevil season 2 has dropped 50% from season 1, which means season 3 probably won't happen. Which is a real fucking shame.
Well, they're not promoting it.
No, they're not.
I would never have had any fucking idea that Daredevil season 2 was out unless I saw it on subreddits I'm already subscribed to.
And
there was no advertising. There was nothing anywhere.
I only know from my YouTubers that break everything down.
It's so much better than season 1. So like, it's a shame that I hope they keep it going. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that right now.
It's really good. I don't know if it's better than, but I like it.
Well, okay, so look, I promise, give me 1 minute. My problem with season 1, and you know this, we talked about this, 1 was kind of a chopped up version of what Disney wanted versus what the fans wanted when they redid it. This one feels more cohesive.
It is more cohesive. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, there's some great scenes in that first one. But this one definitely feels more cohesive, and I'm a huge fan of Bullseye. Anyway, critical reception. You know where this is going. 91% critical rating from Rotten Tomatoes. That's a 7.7 out of 10. Metacritic score of 77 out of 100, which is generally favorable. No cinema score, obviously, or Roger Ebert review, obviously, although I did talk to his ghost earlier, and he loved it. But Brandon Yu wrote for the New York Times that the film is, quote, an original universe that is charming, funny, and artfully punchy. What is the film about? So Lindsay, you tell it. You do it, because then I'm going to jump in. I'm going to ask questions.
Like the basics of it?
Yeah, just the basics of it.
So over time, there have been warriors that face demons through song to protect our world. And this is the newest incarnation's tale.
Someone was... Go ahead, sorry.
They're working to build a protective barrier using their voices and the, I guess, spirit of everyone else around. Like, they're basically inspiring them to help strengthen this barrier that protects our world from demons.
Someone was watching Buffy and listening to Blackpink and said, what if it was this, but this? What if we combined them? That's what it felt like to me. It felt like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but if she was a singer, you know? And that's not an insult. I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But I do have a couple of questions, and I'll just rattle them off now while my brain still works properly. And I told Lindsay a couple of these. What are they? Are they supernatural? Lindsay said, well, they're priestesses. What are they? Are they supernatural? Because they form weapons from their hands. Why do their weapons glow? I have some more questions about the demons. Is it passed down from family member to family member? How did they meet each other? How were you recruited? I have a lot of questions that they answered none of in this movie.
Yeah, no, they didn't.
I don't think any of that's necessary for the movie. You're right. None of those questions were answered, but I don't think any of it was necessary.
And you're right, too. 100%. I agree. It's not necessary. But...
I mean, I'll give you one answer to something Johnny. You asked there. Their weapons glow because they represent the light, and the demons represent the darkness. That's it.
Yeah,
it's really all there is. I mean, they almost say as much in the finale at one point in time. That I think one of the Lindsay would have to correct me here, but I think one of Rumi's lyrics in that last big song is something about like combining darkness and the light, which I mean is look. If you want to be really critical about it, it's genre hack. It's tropey as all hell.
Yes, extremely.
But it's also a kids movie. I mean, and say what you will, whether it is or not. Netflix categorizes this as a kids movie.
Okay,
so it shows up as kids under its like distinction.
I would not put this.
They believe it to be anyway.
Zach, help me out here. I would not call this a kids movie. Would you call this?
Hang on. Real quick. Kids is a really broad term.
Yes, it's like anime. Anime's for kids.
Family.
Right.
But.
Right.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up with it?
What's up with it? I said I would not categorize K-Pop Demon Hunters as a children's film. Would you?
I mean, my kid loves it. So, I mean, I can see how it's categorized as a kid's film, but I could also see, like, there are certain scenes that scare her. So
and
I
adults
feel like
love it.
Maybe it's not for like all kids. Like maybe there's a certain age.
No.
But I mean, for the most part, she loves the music. She loves the Huntress. Mira's her favorite. I think it's the attitude. They are very similar.
Same. Very much like her, Korean girl.
But yeah, no, I mean, I can see why you would say it's not a kid's movie, but I can see more elements that would make it more of a kid's family movie than just strictly an adult movie, if that makes sense, or like an adult animation.
To me, this is just 3D anime. That's what this movie is. It's 3D anime because it has all the same trappings of anime. It has even the facial expressions changing so wildly. And by the way, I just want to say this. I thought the animation in this movie was really good. Like, it has its own style. I liked the style, but some of the faces they make.
It has a similar style.
It has a similar style to what Spider-Verse. Yeah.
Because it's Sony Animation. It's the same company.
It's Sony Animation. But my fear as of current is I'm seeing more films coming out not by Sony Animation that is starting to use the same art style.
Why wouldn't
and it's starting to piss me off.
That's because these companies
fucking style.
These movies made billions of dollars. Of course they're going to do
CG
that.
Blew up. It's the same reason the computer animation blew up, and I don't do my 2D stuff anymore.
And get ready, Disney and DreamWorks are going to start looking at Sony going, let me copy off your paper. I'll just change a couple of the numbers so they don't look right.
I can't wait for the new Disney film, J-Pop Demon Hunters.
No, it'd be J-Rock.
J-Rock Vampire Hunters.
J-Rock Vampire Hunters.
Can you make that poster, please? I would love to see that poster. If you
can. In a moment, yeah. Okay. Remind me, and I will. But I want to mention this before I forget about it. You're talking about trying to and look, no movie needs to be contained to a specific. It's like trying to say that music is like this genre or that genre. Like, I get so tired of the crazy distinctions of what something is. If you are trying to pinpoint like the ideal age for a viewer for this movie, I think and Sarah said it before I could, it's preteens.
Yes.
This movie is geared toward a preteen
or
audience.
Early teen.
It's not, I mean, yeah, right in there. It's not extremely complicated, but it is complicated enough that a younger audience is, like Zach said, probably going to enjoy watching it and maybe not really get what's going on and maybe a little too intense for them at times. An older audience is going to find it to be a little thin, which is my biggest criticism of it. The plot's a little thin. It's very, again, it's very tropey. It's very straightforward in the sense that we're not going to get a lot of deep dive exploration about any of this stuff. But what it is really strongly on point with is, I use this word a million times here, is theme. It has a really, really solid and very surface level theme. Like, you don't have to dig for it. It's very clear what this movie is supposed to be about. Acceptance of oneself, not hiding who you are from the world. Right, exactly. It's the point of the whole thing.
Right.
That is also... That's the most preteen theme you can possibly come up with. Because at what other point in time in your life do you not really know who you are? Right. Do you find that you're changing on the daily and you're trying to figure out where you fit in?
I guess if you're MAGA, like every fucking day.
No, they bullshit. Do you really think they're actually doing any introspection trying to figure out who they are?
It was one time.
Come on. One time. They know exactly who they are.
Well, it's whoever he tells them.
So yeah. So yeah, when it says kids movie, to me,
he's not.
I was just gonna say we're talking like 10 to 14. That's about the range.
Hunter, I would say 10 to 15.
Well, whatever makes you feel better, I guess. You know, what's that about a 6-year age difference? A 7 one perhaps?
I think it's.
I feel it coming.
Yeah, hold on. Give me a second. I got a button for it.
Please don't.
Button. My bad.
No, that was the right button.
The horse button.
You got it.
Lindsay, go ahead.
Lindsay, what were you saying?
So the movie that I saw the trailer for earlier is Forgotten Island, and sure enough, it is DreamWorks that is jumping on this art style bandwagon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel...
Don't get me wrong, the movie looks like it's going to be good, but I get so tired of companies using visuals as a crutch. The story is what matters, not the visuals. The visuals should also be good, but if you don't have a good story, your movie is shit.
Okay, but they didn't have a good story in this movie.
Now she's finally speaking my language.
But they didn't have a great story in this movie. And the movie wasn't shit.
They were protecting
had a good story.
It just
wasn't amazing.
Story.
Well, you know what? Yeah,
it's a simple one.
I take that back. I think there's a lot in this movie. I'm sounding way more critical than I intend to. I think that there's a lot to uncover with this film. Unlike Encanto, where I joked about, where does the miracle come from? And let them fight monsters and all that. In this movie, I'm serious. I would like to know more about, who is chosen for this. Are they destined for this? Are they trained for this? Or do they have innate abilities? I would love to find out stuff like this. Lindsay and I were talking about it earlier. She said she doesn't really want a sequel. She wants a prequel. She wants to understand more about why these things happen. And I think that would be fantastic. Again, part of the reason you love Buffy the Vampire Slayer so much is because you kind of got in on the ground floor. I got in on the ground floor where they explain, stranger in a strange land at the beginning of her, navigating the world of vampires and all that. But these girls are right in the middle of it. Like, this literally happens towards the end of their journey. I mean, this is like the third movie in a trilogy, basically.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I liked about that is that because it is geared toward a younger audience, we're not going to spend a whole bunch of time on digging into a backstory. Like you said, it also leaves opportunities open for a further story. So yeah, it does make this part feel sometimes a little thin, but I think that's more just about the way the story is told, less than about their backstories. I don't necessarily at this point need to know how those things happen to get where I'm going with it, right? I can understand the characters, and that's the most important thing.
I got it. You know what this movie is? This movie is Final Fantasy 15. It was super kind of light on story, but what it made up for was there was only 4 characters you played as in the entire game, and there was the 4 main characters. But their interactions with each other made it feel so dynamic and made them feel like they were real friends, and that's what I feel this movie is. What it lacks in, like, plot or plot development or history or lore or anything like that, what it makes up with is you get the sense that the 3 girls are like, I bought them as a real pop group. I bought them as friends. Their interactions are genuine. They're sincere. They laugh together. They joke together. Horror movies could learn something from this. Instead of just throwing these characters at you that you don't care about just to watch them die, give us 5 minutes of them interacting with each other that isn't a stereotypical, I want to bang a girl or smoke some weed kind of way, and I think you would do far with it. This movie does a great job in establishing that the girls are all, like, close and friends with each other, and I think that's the point of the movie, is the togetherness. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like
it does pass the Bechdel test, which is kind of interesting. We never really talked about that here. I feel like you guys have probably heard of the Bechdel test. Really?
The name sounds familiar, but I do not know details.
So, forgive me, I don't remember her first name. I want to say it's Allison. She's a queer author from quite some time back, and basically her deal was your female characters are better written if more than one of them can have a conversation that isn't about a man for an entire scene of whatever you're writing. That has nothing to do with a man. Yeah, so the Bechdel test is, can you take a scene from something, whether it is a chapter from a book, a scene in a movie or a TV show, is there more than one female character? Are they conversing? And is what they're talking about not related to a man at all, or men in general? And this movie pulls that off. At the very least, toward the end, when Rumi is talking to her caretaker about why she never, loved all of her and completely who she was as a person. That none of that comes up there. So that scene immediately to me came to mind is that's a point where they do that. A lot of the plot obviously is about the boy band they're dealing with. So that's problematic. They're not going to, not problematic, but they're not going to pass there anywhere in that part of the movie. But at least once that happened.
She wasn't even, as far as I can tell, maybe I'm wrong, she wasn't even in love with the main character. It was very much just there might have been an attraction and definitely some chemistry, but it never felt romantic to me, where the other two were clearly kind of obsessed. No, I never thought it was romantic. I thought it was more of a kindred spirit type thing. Like,
I did. I think there was definitely the implication that they were, there was a romantic attraction there. Maybe they didn't act on it, but yeah.
Did I miss something?
It's minor. There is a minor one in there, but like it's not. They don't play it up. Part.
Yeah, because all I remember is just talking about you're a demon and I understand you. I can help free you and all that stuff. I never took it as like super romantic, especially compared to the other two.
Well, again, I'm not
gaga-eyed over their bodies and like.
Well, okay, but the difference you're talking about there is lust versus love.
Yeah,
right. The other two girls lusted over the other characters. In this case, in this case, they were. There was definitely like a love that was meant to be there. And again, this plays perfectly back into what I was talking about as a preteen film. Of course, it is when someone gets you. And you're somewhere between 10 and 14 or 15 for Shannon's sake, years of age, and they get you and they get who you are. How many times, man? How many times do you go, obviously I'm in love with this person and obviously they're in love with me? Everybody, I think, has that experience.
I have never had the experience where I assumed someone was in love with me. Lindsay and I were together for 10 years, and I never really thought she did. It's just me. I'm just a very bad person in general. I'm an awful person.
I have a hard time believing that you didn't at least the first. And I'm not saying that you believe that she was in love with you, but the other way around.
Oh,
that
yeah,
there wasn't some version of this person gets me and sees me. Clearly, we're in love.
She does not get me at all. I showed her the Hood Turtles. She didn't laugh once.
I gotta look up the textbook definition of obstinate for Shannon real quick. Give me just a second here.
I'm not trying to be an obstacle. Josie said, was he watching / listening to Free? I will have you know, I know what that is because of Lindsay. They swim. So, do you like my swimming? Yeah, she's done. I got her. Finally. I'm the hunter now. I'm hunting her.
You will never understand the level of Haru being a waterfowl.
I don't know what the hell is happening right now.
I'm going to address Zach because you've clearly lost your mind. Zach, this film, this K-pop Demon Hunters, first off, I have to ask the question that's on everyone's mind. Are you a fan of K-pop? Because I am not.
No.
Okay.
No.
Actually, let's go around the room because I'm kind of curious. I know Lindsay is. So I can answer that.
It's been growing on me in the last year.
But I'm curious about Hunter. Hunter, all right, let me change the question just a little bit. And I want to ask everybody.
I'm trying to keep a straight face.
I at least want to ask Hunter and Zach because I know Lindsay's answer. I personally did not like the music in this film. But hear me out. It's not that I didn't think it was good. I think it is good. It's just really not my genre. Like, it's catchy. It's not what I usually listen to. And the dancing, I hate that. I genuinely hate that. Every time baby demon was up there doing his thing and he's like doing all this, I hate that. It's so annoying to me and obnoxious. It very much feels like, but I'm an old man shaking his fist at the cloud. Like, you know, and I get that. I 100% get that. That's why I'm not putting that in my review at all. That's not a part of like my criticisms because that's not fair. But I am curious, Hunter, what did you think of the music in this movie? Because it's not traditional musical movie. I mean, this very much is just K-pop music in a film used as plot, kind of.
I mean, so importantly, when you say that, used as plot,
I'm
and
exactly
the way that
describing a musical.
This movie's a musical.
Yeah, I'm exactly
100%
describing it the more I
musical.
say it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 100% a musical without question. Now, it is what, well, not exactly. To a certain degree, it's what you might describe as a jukebox musical, which is more like a Moulin Rouge, a film like that where it uses popular music from a variety of artists, like a jukebox, and fits that into its playlist, into its soundtrack. This is not exactly that because all the music is essentially coming from two different artists. But it is kind of the same idea. They're meant to be like pop radio hits that also then fit into the characterization. And that way it's more like Coco, actually, weirdly enough, because all of those songs are meant to be strictly from the characters and they exist in the universe as important things. All of that said, I don't know how... I shouldn't say this because I do know how, because we all have different tastes and such. I don't know how anybody walks away from this movie not loving the music. I really don't. I fucking love the music in this movie, 100%. I also think that K-pop is an undeniable force at this point. Now, look, you go digging through my phone, you're not going to find any downloaded K-pop. The closest thing you're going to find is Opposite by Rose.
I will remind the audience.
I might have a Blackpink song, actually, now that I think about it. It's not out of the question.
I have a Mamamoo song.
I don't have a playlist. Let's put it that way.
I don't have a playlist other than this soundtrack. But yeah, I will remind the listeners that both me and Jesse had Golden as our number one songs on our streaming stuff last year.
See, it's so funny. I don't think Golden is the best song in this movie.
I don't either.
I really
don't.
Not, I agree.
To me, the best song in this film is either
Takedown, right?
Oh, I thought it was either Soda Pop or the final song. The final song was the
that
song
one is great.
That got me like
in the moment,
teary, you know? Yeah, because it was the moment.
Well, sure, but
it was the moment.
In the moment, really but I'm saying take both both in the film and taken out of context, "Takedown's" the best song, and I think that's why it starts the credits the way that it does. In my opinion, anyway, I think it's the catchiest. I think it's the one that both and it plays up the duality of both being good in context in the movie and working really well outside of it. I think a lot of that other stuff, Golden, Soda Pop especially, and then what's the last song called, Lindsay?
Your Idol. Well, there's the Saja's Boys. Other one is Your Idol.
Not theirs.
And then This Is What It Sounds Like.
I love that song.
That one,
because that was the big moment.
It was the big one. Yes, yeah. But I don't think any of those work as well as like a radio hit. If you take it out of the context of the movie, I don't think they work as well.
Well, that's why I think Soda Pop works as a radio hit as well.
Dots Pop Pid.
Yes, I know. I saw it. I couldn't get to be. No, I didn't love the music of this movie because I'm not a huge fan of K-pop. But I also don't want to like shit on it because it's just not my style. Like there's nothing wrong with it, and the songs are infectious and catchy. But like I just, if you look through my playlist, it's gonna be a rap. And there is a little bit of hip hop in there with the K-pop. The problem is while they're doing it,
K-pop works.
They're doing all their little moves and such, and I just don't get it. I'm just not a fan.
That's K-pop culture,
right? And I'm just not a fan. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I'm sorry, idol culture.
It's just not my thing. Yeah. So like for me, a song with better music was Encanto. I think Encanto had a better soundtrack, even though these songs are way catchier. I think that The Hunchback of Notre Dame had a better soundtrack, even though these songs are much catchier. But it's just like the song, especially in Hunchback, because of the gothic overtones, the choir and stuff like that. That shit I'm into. So that I can really get behind this. Oh, I connected with this music. I did not connect with this music, but I still think it's catchy and that it's I see why it's so big. This is not a shot at that music. I just want to make that clear. Anyway, Zach, what about you?
I don't think anybody thought it was.
I hope not, because like sometimes we all get in the habit of I don't like it, therefore it sucks. And we're all trying to get out of that. Like, well, that's not my thing, but just because it's not my thing doesn't mean it's bad. And I'm trying to get out of that myself too. Zach, what about you? K-pop, yeah or no?
Yo. I'm not the biggest fan. You will not find any K-pop on my phone as well. Until this movie came out, because I will say that I'm forced to listen to it, but however, my child does like the music, so we listen to it quite a bit. But I agree with you in the sense of I think This Is What It Sounds Like is probably the best song.
That was my favorite song, but it's so weird because yes, I think that's the best song, but I agree with Hunter and Lizzie that it's not the catchiest song, and I especially agree with Hunter that like you would never hear that on the radio, but you would absolutely hear "Takedown" or I think "Soda Pop" to an extent.
Well, hang on, I don't know about never
all the time.
I was going to say part of the trivia for this, and I don't remember which songs they were because I didn't look. But this movie soundtrack had 4 songs in the Billboard Hot 100 Top 10 at the same time. Hear me out again. The Billboard Hot 100 Top 10. So it had 4 songs somewhere in those 100. No, of the top 10 songs, at some point in time, 4 of them were from this movie. That's a world record. The only time that has ever come close in the past has been Saturday Night Fever and Waiting to Exhale. They both had 3 simultaneously in the top 10.
Boy, I get Saturday Night Fever.
Yep.
I have that soundtrack. I legitimately had that soundtrack. I had it on CD. I listen to that all the time. Waiting to Exhale is a little surprising to me, though. That's very cool.
I'm looking to see what's on it because I was curious. Yeah, it's Whitney Houston, and it's probably almost exclusively her.
Because I can almost promise you, Saturday Night Fever is Saturday Night Fever. Oh God, I can't remember the names of the songs now. I was so sure of myself.
Night Fever.
That's what I meant by Saturday Night Fever. Night Fever. Yeah, I'm not.
Every Woman.
I've got it in my head, and I cannot.
Staying Alive.
Staying Alive.
Staying Alive is almost definitely one of them. Yeah, Jive Talking is also the Bee Gees. Boogie Shoes, Casey and the Sunshine Band. Disco Inferno could have been one of them.
That's the one I was trying to think of.
Yeah. How Deep Is Your Love? I mean, the Bee Gees are all over that soundtrack. Yeah. It could have been any number of those. Waiting to Exhale's
soundtrack.
Waiting to Exhale gets you only 3 Whitney Houston songs. Exhale, Why Does It Hurt So Bad and Count on Me. And then other than that, it's a strange little collection. There's a Brandy song. There's a TLC song. Tony Braxton is on here.
All good
Chaka
artists.
Khan.
I love all of them.
Oh yeah, all great artists. But
Wait, what's the
I
Chaka
don't
Khan
recall
song?
the names of any of these. My Funny Valentine. It's a cover.
Yeah. Okay. Real quick trivia.
So if I'm remembering right, the 4 songs from this were Golden, Your Idol, This Is How It's Done, and Takedown.
Wait, Soda Pop wasn't on there? That's not fair.
I'm almost positive Your Idol is the one that was on there because fans are like obsessed with that song.
Is this how it's done? The first song?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I just sent to the thing, I don't know how accurate it is, but it was just saying that at least the top 10 hits from their, top 10 100 entries from the soundtrack was Golden.
Okay, so it was Soda Pop over Takedown.
Your Idol, How It's Done, Soda Pop. And that's all saying Billboard. And then looks like What It Sounds Like was at 55. The Free Song was at 58. And then Takedown was at 64.
It's wild to me.
But I don't know how accurate that is.
Was so
but I sent it to the general. So
I'd like to give a little bit of trivia real quick and tell you that, did you know that they made a sequel to Saturday Night Fever called Staying Alive? And it was terrible.
Yeah, and it's terrible.
And
it
who
was directed by
directed it?
John Travolta.
No.
John Travolta.
No.
He directed it. Wait, didn't he?
No, he starred in it, and I think he produced it. Do you know who directed it?
It's Stallone. It's Stallone, isn't it?
Sylvester
Yeah,
Stallone.
I knew there was somebody, and I knew about this from that stupid Last Action Heroes book. I knew there was some reason that I remembered that. Yeah, and it's awful.
Man. It's bad.
It's so bad.
Can we all agree that the bird is the best character in the film?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, I know.
No, he's good, but he's not the best.
But he's every time I saw him,
He's our favorite.
I loved him. No, my favorite. You know what? This is so generic because I never picked the main character. But I think the best character in the film is Rumi. Like, she's just, I really liked her. I thought I would like Mira more, and I liked Mira a lot. But I just loved Rumi's story. I loved the idea of accepting who you are. I loved the struggle she had. She was great. I loved her. But they're all good. I was going into this movie expecting there was going to be one that I hated, and I thought it was going to be Chloe. It's Chloe, right? Or is it Zoe?
Zoe.
I thought I was going to hate Zoe because she was the rapper, but she was very fun. I don't think there's an unlikable character in this movie. The closest thing to an unlikable character in this movie is their manager, and only because he's played by Kim Jong.
Aw, I like Bobby.
It's a joke.
Keep your shirt on, Bobby. We'll be there in 3.
Well, you know, Hunter, it's funny you mentioned that because at the beginning of the film, Rumi tells Bobby, keep your shirt on, Bobby. We'll be there in 3. Exactly 3 minutes later, Huntrix arrives on stage at the arena to perform.
I show up.
Yeah.
By the way, Sarah didn't know that was the name of the band. So when we did get something from McDonald's, and I was like, I'm going to try their sauce because they have that. I got something that had sauce with it. I didn't get that meal or whatever.
Demon sauce.
It came with sauce. Sure. I don't like that term. It was on the label of that. I was going to say, even if it is, I don't like it. It was on the label of it. So I brought it home. I set it down. I went inside to wash my hands. And I came back outside, and Sarah goes, "You got your own sauce there?" And I was like, "What?" She goes, "The name of it." I was like, "No, that's Huntrix." And she was like, "What? Is that like a?" And I said, "Yeah, it's a male female distinction. Aviatrix, aviator, Huntrix. They're all girls." And she's like, "I thought we were getting away from that." And I said, "Well, we are, but it sounds cool, so we're gonna run with it this time."
And it
works. It's okay this time.
And we gave it a thumbs up.
It's okay this time.
Yeah.
You talked about that theme of like, we were talking about this earlier, that acceptance and figuring out who you are. Are we all on the same page that this is also very clearly a fairly, I don't want to say heavy-handed. It's not heavy-handed. That has a negative connotation, but it's a queer allegory, right? It's in the closet coming out coded situation. Definitely.
No, but I'm simple.
I think so.
No,
I think so.
I'm
I think
not doubting
that's
you.
very much.
I'm not doubting you at all.
Yeah.
But I looked at this. Yeah. I looked at this at surface level. And I apologize. Surface level. This is about demons, and this is about
that's okay. It's
yeah. I looked at it surface level.
Yeah, you don't have to see that.
I absolutely see what you're saying. Just the idea of pretend, cover it up, pretend not to be who you are, and then in the end, accepting it
from a parental figure, a parental figure
right.
Who says, "No, just cover it up until we can get this done, and then we'll figure it out." Which is essentially, as soon as you get out of my house, then I don't have to worry about it anymore, right? Yeah. As soon as you're past that point, and it's. I would be surprised if even the director. Didn't mention that the writers.
And
I know that was a discussion that they had at one point. So,
and that's the great thing about it is that this film, it has a deeper meaning beyond the surface, but the surface is very enjoyable. Like, if you take this as what it is, it's still enjoyable. If you take this as something deeper, you can find deeper in it. And that's, to me, the best kind of films are the ones that you can enjoy. You can enjoy
the
it
best
just on the
storytelling.
surface. Yeah, you can enjoy it on the surface.
That's the best storytelling and the best theming. It doesn't have to be a movie. It doesn't have to be a book or a television show. If you're telling a story and it exists both on if you get nothing else from what we're showing you, this part is good. Mm-hmm. But also, if you look a little deep, it's the epitome of Shannon. You'll appreciate this metaphor because as a video game fan, we love this terminology. It's easy to play, simple to play, difficult to master.
Yes.
Right? Anybody can mess around with it, but if you try a little harder and if you keep at it for a while, you're going to figure out how much more you can get out of it. It's the same thing. Same idea.
I think the best story, I agree with you, the best stories, the best movies, the best music, I mean, anything really, is you can listen to it and go, man, that's really good, but the more you dig into it, the deeper you dig, the more you come away with. And that's when you fall in love with a game, with an artist, or whatever. Yeah. And I think that's why Lindsay has fallen in love with K-Pop Demon Hunters. It's not just that, flashy costumes and they sing good and they fight demons. I think there's something more to this, and that resonates with a lot of people. And that's why I almost gave my review away. Oh, you know what? That sounds like that's a good time to get to the reviews, because we're 40 minutes into this. Let's do it. On this show, of course, we follow a 5-point system inspired by the greats. Siskel and Ebert, Gene Shallaton, Leonard Maltin, Richard Roper. Does he Shallaton?
You said Gene Shallaton. You put him and Leonard Maltin together, and I was going to let you.
I did. Oh, Lord.
Jenner to Shallaton.
Oh, God.
Wait, what was that picture you wanted me to make? J-Rock?
J-Rock Vampire
Slayers.
Yeah, it's the same movie, but different. Two little birds with 3 eyes up means you love it. One. What is his name again, Lindsay?
Derpy or
Susie?
Susie.
Okay, so 2 Susies, you love it. Oh, this is gonna be bad. 1 Susie, you like it. 1 Susie up and down, you are neutral or indifferent. 1 Susie down, you don't like it. And 2 Susies down, you hate it. I hate that word. I never want to say it again. The last movie to get double ups was last night. It was Encanto. And the last one to get 2 down was finally unseating Godzilla. I think Zach's a little mad at me for that. I feel like he holds a grudge. But
that's a waste of energy.
The last double down.
I mean, he's right. He's
I don't expect him to say it.
Right. It's just the way he says it.
I spent most of my life holding grudges. I was heavy. It was like, take it off the weights at one point. I'm like, all right, now let's fight.
This is too real. You never saw this coming tonight. This is going to bring a tear to your eye.
I've had 2 real life.
Very ruined it.
I have 2 real life grudges. One was against a girl who I'm now friends with and shows up occasionally, and the other's against myself, and I'll never forgive that prick. But let's see where this movie goes. Zach, I'm going to start with you. K-Pop Demon Hunters. Where does it land on your ranking? Can we finish out Animation April with all positives across the board? Or is K-Pop Demon Hunters the one that finally breaks the streak? Because if it doesn't break the streak, Hunter, I'm almost positive, especially for the amount of shows we've had, this is the best month for films we've ever done.
Well, if only because of how many there are.
Yes.
I mean, I think if you do the aggregate scores and you go back to last year's Back to School August, that was the one that just...
This guy in Breakfast Club.
Yeah, but that's the only one.
Right, but
for the rest of the month, every other thing got like huge high reviews.
None of these films got 1 down. We haven't had a single 1 down this month.
That's true. That is true.
So
yeah, I think by the numbers it might be.
When you combine that with the numbers, because we've reviewed 8 films this month, that's pretty good. All right, Zach, sorry, go ahead.
No, I think. The music's good. The story, I think, is really good. And I'll agree with Hunter on this one. It's a pretty good, young adult, young teen, someone who doesn't feel normal in their body, whether, whatever it is, and then like the whole like when you have people that you feel like you can trust, even though certain people are like, hey, you can't actually trust them. Sometimes you just got to go out on that limb, because I feel like her friends would have been less mad if she wouldn't have been hiding it for so long. I think it was more one of those like, why didn't you trust us, more or less. And then the whole, they got separated because of the demons. I don't think it was really them trying to stay away from her, just because of how the movie progressed so quickly at that point. No, I think I'm gonna have to give it two birds up.
Oh wow!
We're gonna feed the baby birds. We'll give it 2 birds up.
2 birds up from Zach. Okay.
Yeah, I enjoy the animation. I think their face, like the face changes. It doesn't bother me, but I also watch anime, so I'm used to that kind of stuff.
Some of the faces they made were so goddamn ugly. It was so bad.
It's stupid. Yeah. But I mean, it works for the context
that JoJo.
of what it is.
It was straight anime. I mean, the girl's crying popcorn while the other girl eats popcorn. Like, it's just anime.
No, she was eating her own popcorn.
Crying popcorn off of corn cobs.
Yes.
That's the best part. It wasn't just crying popcorn. It was popping as she was crying.
Because she was too hot.
Because Shannon, she was crying.
Was crying. I like when I look on the Twitch stream, and if I look just right, Shannon looks like he's looking up at you like we're on Hollywood Squares and he's disappointed in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're below him on that screen, and the whole time I cut to around the time he was looking at the ceiling, but it looks like he's looking at you with disdain.
All right, that's 2 thumbs up from the Kyrgyz. Do we even have to go to Lindsay? All right, Lindsay, go ahead. Surprise me.
So when this movie first came out, I'm like, what the hell is this? And then they put out the first trailer, and I'm like, okay, this could be hilarious, because it's just going to be, like, over-the-top ridiculousness. And Mimi had watched it the night before I got to watch it, and I forget what she told me, but I know I basically cussed her out, because I think she basically confirmed I was going to cry in this movie.
I've cussed her out, too.
And then the next day I got to sit down and watch it on my day off. It starts out amazing, awesome. I was crying within the first 30 minutes. Like, as soon as Rumi starts, when she's back in the dressing room after coughing on stage when they're practicing Golden, like, I was just sobbing at that point already, right from the beginning. Just the tone in her voice and that scene just, like, hit me super hard. And then I was just a complete mess by the end of the film. I had a little hiatus to not cry, but by the end of it, I was just flat out sobbing. Like, my face was puffy after watching this movie for the first time. But it won me over immediately. Like, I was singing this movie's praise despite the fact that it was making me, like, ugly cry. I am one of those people that just continuously listen to this soundtrack on repeat for at least a full month.
She does.
And I for a while there, I had listened to the soundtrack more than I watched the movie, because I don't think I actually put this back on for a second watch until, like, Christmas time. And even then, I think I got distracted by something and didn't, like, go back and finish it. But I like every part of this without having watched it as many times as I've watched some of my older favorites. Like, it still resonates. And I don't know. I really enjoy it a lot. I like the characters. I like the visuals. Clearly the music got me in. But yeah, it's 2 birds up for me as well on this film.
Say the
and I did
bird's
also
name.
share with you guys.
Say his name.
Susie.
Thank you.
It's Susie. I shared the folk painting that inspired Susie and Derpy.
Yeah, that was very cool.
And to answer your question from earlier tonight, Shannon, they are not demons. They're supernatural creatures. That's why they can cross between the barrier and do whatever they want.
So how do you become friends with them?
And it's based on that painting, the tiger and the magpie.
How do you become friends with them? Why did they become friends with the demon?
I don't know. They saw something in him.
Lonely playing music.
Because he made the cat a hat.
He's the cat in the hat.
He was probably
No, that's why the bird took it, so he's not the Cat in the Hat.
He didn't want to get sued. Hunter also, I really
what was gonna happen.
I really want to watch J-Rock Vampire Slayers now. That's actually pretty fucking cool.
It looks pretty cool. Looks pretty.
In association with Blood Beats.
I'd watch it.
Untor, you are muted.
You are muted. Yeah. There we go.
Oh, weird. I didn't realize I was muted. I was saying it looks too good.
It's too good. It's simply too good. I'd watch that.
The first version it gave me is actually probably even better, but it would be more of a traditional anime. It was this. And then I was like, no, I need it 3D.
Yeah, I'd watch that too, man. Damn. I'd really watch that. Okay, fucking AI. If you could do all that, why can't you fucking just copy the song I already made and just do it again? Fucking bitch. All right.
Live,
my turn.
die, rock.
I had a lot of problems with this film. I wanted to know what anything meant. Like, they acted like I'd already seen the first movie, and now I'm watching the sequel. I wish there was more context for anything in this film. I am starving for context. Is it necessary? It's not, because if you want to be a dick, you could get down to, well, how does the Force, create the lightsaber that only goes this far? I mean, there's a lot of things. If you want to be a dick, you could pick apart anything. There's nothing I think that's ever been existed, except maybe Lord of the Rings, that was explained so well that you can't ask any questions that people are going to go, I don't know. But there's so much in this movie that they just go, this is how it is. And you go, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Even if it doesn't make sense. Some of the animation was very ugly, and I think that's a stylistic choice, and I just didn't care for it. I thought the plot was super light. It had a good premise, but it felt rushed. Like I thought we were 40 minutes into the movie when it was over, and I went, "Holy shit! I expected more. Like I want more."
It is paced a little weird. I don't want to step on your review, but it is paced a little weird. We didn't talk about that earlier.
Yeah.
That's it. I'll get more into detail later.
The music didn't resonate with me like it resonates with others. Other than the main girls, I thought everybody else were paper thin. The bad guys were almost paper thin. Other than the main bad guy, the rest of them were, I mean, they had names and one of them had abs. I can't tell you anything else about them. I had questions after question after question. How did this happen? Why did this happen? Why does this happen? What are demons? Do they suffer? Because he looks like he's suffering through all of this, yet all the other demons feel like they just exist to kill, kill, kill. Is that a choice the demon makes? Or, like, what exactly is the hierarchy of hell? There was so much in this film that made me go, but what the hell are you talking about? Like, give me a reason for anything. And because of all of those frustrations, I don't think it's the worst film I've ever seen, but I'm giving this one thumb down. No, I'm fucking with you. I'm giving it one thumb up. All of the things I said absolutely are true. Like, I really did want to know those things. But I agree with Hunter that the things that I didn't know didn't bother me. This is a question Hunter posed early on in Extras and Epilogues, and I'd never thought of it before, and I never thought of anything differently again, to give him some credit here. He said, I forget what movie it was, but he said, do those things take away your enjoyment of the film? And I never thought of it that way. And I went, no, it did not. And none of that took away my enjoyment of this film. Now, the reason I'm giving it one thumb up is because the music doesn't resonate with me. Like, all of those things I said are true. Like, I was being a little over the top with them, but they're still true. So I can't give it 2 thumbs up because of the issues that I said, because I think those are issues. Those are things that I felt were lacking. But what this movie does very well, it does very well. The relationship between the main characters is amazing. The music is catchy. Even if you're not a fan of the genre, it's super catchy. The animation is really good. And the story, when you boil it down to its basics, even if you just boil it down to its basics of, here are demons, here are the protectors, and they have an interesting reason for fighting them, and one of them has a secret. I mean, this is Buffy the Vampire Slayer type stuff. This is stuff I grew up on. I love that stuff. So I love all of that stuff, but there were just enough issues that I can't go full 2 thumbs up. But I did really like this movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's catchy, and like Hunter said, the more you dig into it, the more you're going to find. And those are my favorite kind of films. So for all of those reasons, I'm giving it 1 thumb up. If this were just straight up, do you recommend it? Do you not? I absolutely recommend it. I think I'm not going to say everybody should watch this movie. That's ridiculous. But if you have any interest, or if you just want to watch a new movie, even if it's outside of your comfort zone, I think this movie is a good example of that. I'm worried about the sequel. I'm hopeful. We'll see what happens. But as far as K-pop Demon Hunters goes, even though I didn't get it all, Mr. 100 is giving it 1 thumbs up. Double H.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm also going to give it a solid thumb up, and it's a very solid one. I think that's maybe a really good way to explain this, that I absolutely recommend it. It doesn't get my highest recommendations, so that's kind of what I think of our 5-point scale. My highest recommendations is everyone should watch this to some degree, and it's as good as it's going to get, and you should revisit it multiple times and that sort of thing. This is the kind of movie that I can totally understand if you want to revisit it multiple times. I do think a larger percentage of people can and should watch it. But I think there will be people that this is not for. I think if you just can't look, we make a joke often about my enjoyment of anime and lack thereof. If you can't stomach it, you're out of luck here, man. If anime is not your thing, this is not going to win you over. It's not going to do any favors for you on that front. And there were times where I was like, "Whoa, boy, this is getting a little too close to the anime border for me." It's just not my speed. I've tried it numerous times now, and it just doesn't work for me. Nothing in this movie ever made me go, "Oh, that's too much. Oh, I can't get into that." I did have a couple things I didn't talk about during the discussion process that I think were worth noting. The opening didn't hook me the way I wanted it to until I got to the song. When they finally got to the song and got it going, yes. But leading up to that, it was a little too Charlie's Angels meets like Boss Baby. I didn't really know what was going on there. I was kind of thrown off the whole like.
We talked about Boss Baby,
right? The whole Hi Bobby thing. I was like, it seems like it's going to be funny, but I can't really quite latch onto it. Sarah at that point, she goes, I don't know if this is for us. And I was like, yeah, I don't know either. We're going to see. I'm going to watch it anyway because I'm watching it for the show. And as it went on, it grew on me and I got more invested in both the characters and the story, even if it is, I think, kind of thin. And you know, I had my own issues there. We didn't say it earlier, and I'm going to say it, and I'm dead fucking serious about it. I also don't love that the final, like, pivotal moment in the big battle is, thank God the dude was there to sacrifice himself. Yeah. Motherfucker.
Yep.
Sarah literally goes, can we not? Must we do this?
I thought the exact same thing. I thought you've done such a good job at empowering these women and showing that these women don't need men. Yes. And then the man has to save her in the end.
And I'll give it a little bit of credit in that he didn't do it entirely for her, right? The whole point of his character was, I did this horrible thing years ago to take care of myself. It was selfish. I shouldn't have done it. I've been paying for it ever since. This is my retribution for that. This is my way of, I don't want, oh God, everyone has
we're gonna wait
things.
For you.
Okay,
we're gonna wait for
please.
You, though. We're waiting for you though.
No, I can't do it when I know people have questions. Go ahead.
Mine's super quick. Mine's super quick. I just wanted to say that to me, that was the best plot thread in the film. Was what he did with his family. That was that was the deepest cut, I think, of, because you never expect that really. You expected, I expected, like the movie said, oh, he's a demon, but he did something, he made a deal to help his family, that's why he's suffering. And I went, oh yeah, that makes sense. And when they showed that no, he selfishly did that, I thought that was a great turn. You didn't expect it.
I thought it was fine. I don't think I didn't take it anywhere near as deep as that. There was a part of me that went, okay, but what was happening that led to that point? I think if that was going to have some real impact, that was where I needed more context. What was going on? What exactly was the situation that led to him making that decision? Right. I think if that had been the case, I would agree with you. As it was, yeah, it might have been one of the deeper points in the movie, but it wasn't enough to make me go, damn, this guy's got the best story. And again, at the end of the day, I will totally acquiesce to, he did the thing for them, not for his, as much for himself as for them. So that's good. It resolves his story. And it's not so much about, I'm going to sacrifice myself for this person I met 3 days ago. But still, the visual of, boy, it sure is a good thing that man was there. It bugged me just a little bit. Zach, you had something to say.
And then I have a follow-up question to that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, I get what you're saying, but at one point too, because we did talk about how they're kind of like, there's some kind of thing between them. And at one point, he mentions that, if hate was enough to kill him, then I would have killed him all those times. So I think they're trying to play into the whole, like, kind of like he is doing it for himself, but at the same time, because he says, you did save me, you freed my soul or whatever, and then he gives it to her or whatever. And I think he knows that they're so close to closing the thing, and he just wants to be free at that point.
And that's some of my frustration. Zach summed it up exactly when he said, or whatever. Yeah, because you don't know. I wanted to save you. You did. You saved my soul and now it's yours. And then it kind of went into her weapon or whatever. What the fuck are you talking about? How did she save your soul? She didn't do anything. You sacrificed yourself for her, and the best I can say is that she inspired him to make that sacrifice. That was my takeaway from it. I think that's the right answer, honestly. But
the idea was you're more than your pattern. You're more than the thing that you have been told you are.
But then he turns into her weapon, maybe, or something, and helps her defeat the enemy.
No,
there's so much, man.
If you notice, as they're killing the demons, all of the audience, their souls start turning blue.
They blue, yeah.
Which is the same color as all their weapons.
Yes.
To me, it's like a spirit bomb. Everyone is inputting into it, and because they're about to because they're creating the new force field or the new shield, and they're just putting it all out there, I think that's why. But then, that those extra little bits, because then I feel like they're kind of also keeping the souls from going to the demon, because he's eating them.
But they don't really explain it, and that's part of screenwriting. I actually have taken classes on screenwriting. I've studied screenwriting, and one of the important rules of screenwriting is you show these things. You don't assume the audience knows what these things mean. You have to tell them or show them, and 60% of this movie is kept hidden from the audience. And that's why I couldn't give it 2 thumbs up, because there's so much that is done that makes no sense if you have no context, of which they give you none. And that, I think, is a problem. Sorry, Hunter, I didn't mean to hijack. I'm sorry.
Well, it's okay. I don't know that I fully agree with that, though, because the concept you're talking about is show don't tell, and they did show without telling. Show and don't tell is supposed to be about you don't have to lead an audience to everything. This is why I say often, like, hey, they didn't explain that, but I don't have to have everything explained to me verbally. I don't have to have actually, if anything, this movie does too much of that early on with the exposition machine of just saying, here's who we are, here's what we're doing, here's what's going on. But late in the story, I'm okay with, I can fully accept the visual of, I see a person glowing blue, I see a thing come from them and it goes to their weapon. You don't need to tell me what that is. I get that. I get what's happening there. It's also essentially a kid's movie. So we're talking about the power of goodness, the light versus the darkness. The visual does enough of the heavy lifting for me there. Like I said, the visual that bothered me more was, thank God this dude is here to save the day. And I know that's not really what happened, but at the very least in the moment, I had a visceral reaction to it and I went, can that not be the thing that ends this? But it was significantly better than they never would have accomplished it if it weren't for him or anything like that. And also, again, he was essentially sacrificing himself for his own good plus theirs. That's fine.
He didn't kill the bad guy.
Right, he didn't save the day at the end of it. That's not what happened. So I'll accept it, and that's why it didn't like bump me so much that I'm talking about lowering my score or anything like that. But those were really, in terms of things that may have bugged me, that was kind of it, really. I mean, again, it's kind of light, and I don't think it's for everybody. But what it does well, it does really fucking well. It looks incredible. It sounds amazing. And I mean that both from a music and from a writing perspective. And I'm not talking about necessarily the words, the screenwriting, the script itself. I'm talking about the delivery and the dialogue. Like it's a really good melding mesh of the spoken voices for the characters and the singing ones, such that it never makes you go, well, that's clearly not the same person, or this doesn't sound anything like that. With the music being so intrinsically tied to the movie itself, that's critical. That has to be the case. Anyway, bottom line, I definitely think it's worth a look. I think it's worth a watch. I think a lot of people are going to get something out of this. I think it's on brand with its theming. It's targeted to the right audience, so that's good. All of that stuff is great. It's not perfect, but it's a damn good, solid 1.5 if we got to talk about that.
And like in Kanto, there are genuinely funny moments that aren't funny because they tell you it's funny. You know what I mean? Like, there's obviously in every kid's film
visual gags,
right? And they expect the audience to laugh and we don't laugh. We think that's so desperate for a laugh. But this movie, like in Kanto, I think actually delivers on the laughs when they show the funny scenes. They're always charming. Yeah. They never feel like they're just thrown in there because they think you're going to laugh at that. I have a genuine question, and I'm not being antagonistic. I want to learn. What was the bad guy? I know who he was, but what was he? Because he controlled demons.
He was the demon. He was the demon king.
So he's the devil?
I mean, no. In their culture, he would just be a demon king.
Is he the leader of all demons?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
And the demons are sympathetic creatures. Except none of them were, except for the one guy, right?
Well, we don't know anything about most of the rest of them, really. To me,
Zach first. Zach, go ahead.
We're all going at the same time.
I was just going to say, I mean, at one point after he talks to her and he tells her that, you think demons don't feel, that's all they do, they just suffer. Then you notice, I think one time maybe, but she asked that one demon, like, hey, are you doing this or are you being made to? But then the other one kills it before she can have a chance to even talk to her. But that's because they're raised that all demons are bad.
Well, none of the other demons show any reason to think otherwise. They all just attack. They suck souls out of people.
To me, they also strike me as like, they're just kind of like, I don't know if they're like him. Like, he is clearly a human that sold his soul for something.
Well, so were the other guys in the band.
Or favor.
So what's their story?
I mean, they could be, but they also don't seem like they have a problem with whatever it is.
So
you know what I mean?
So then we go, okay, well, the demons don't
they have
suffer.
To play humans.
Demons don't suffer. They're enjoying it. They attack people. They do these terrible things. I wish there just.
That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. You can suffer and take that out on other people at the same time.
Yeah, but there was nothing. There was nothing in this film that showed that any of the other demons were in any way under distress over what they were doing. Some of them cheered.
The first one, like, being terrified to go talk to the king after she got beat.
Well, but that could have just been fear of one's own existence.
I mean, until he eats her and takes his soul back.
Hang on. I know that Lord of the Rings is not a great analogy because Shannon doesn't know Lord of the Rings very well. But
I've seen the movies.
I know. Well, I know. And that's what I was going to say. Bear with me for a second.
Okay.
The orcs in Lord of the Rings get a lot of the same kind of criticism that you're talking about right now. It seems like they're just mindless, evil minions, and that's all they are. That's because, for the purposes of the story, they're not the main characters. You got to remember what your what I would call ethereal focus, but in this case, your filmmaking focus is. The three leads are framed as the protagonists. This kind of goes to that idea of history being written by the winners. Like, when they're the main characters of the story, that's going to completely shape the perspective of how you see everybody else. Just because you have a third-person narration and a third-person perspective doesn't mean that it's not still influenced by who it focuses on as the main character. So, of course, you're not seeing any demons other demons that have altruistic intentions. They're not part of that story.
Well, I was going to say, I wish there was something on the other side of the demon realm, one other character that maybe talked about rebellion against this monster that controlled all of them. But I get that if you did that, and correct me if I'm wrong, it almost feels like you would have to devote a significant amount of time towards that idea if you want it to be good, and then that would make him the main character over Rumi. Or there's not enough time.
Also, wouldn't she be?
Rumi is that character, right?
Yeah,
because her dad's a demon, and her mom was a hunter.
That's another thing I don't understand.
Dad probably knew.
Like, all the demons look like creepy, weird monsters. Why did she fall in love with a demon? How could she fall in love with a demon when they all kill them and all stuff like that?
Dude, the demons can look like whatever the hell they want to. Remember when they literally impersonated her two friends on stage at the end? Like, they can just do that.
Well, that's more of like, what are the demons capable of? If they can do that, then why do so many of them just walk towards the hunters like they're just cannon fodder?
Because they are.
Some of them are cannon fodder.
Most of them are.
Yeah.
I told Lindsay this. I said the demons suck. Why is everyone afraid of them? Only one demon in the entire movie landed a single hit, and it was because she was distracted. Every other scene, you saw the demon hunters absolutely wrecking them, and I'm talking about hundreds at a time.
Why are wasps scary? Is one wasp scary to you?
Yes, legitimately.
Okay,
but 1,000 are more scary, if that's what you're getting at.
It's overwhelming forces. Yeah, it has nothing to do with being capable. Why are the putties like the villains in Power Rangers? You never said one.
You said
20 of them. They're distractions.
Yes,
they're distractions and they're overwhelming.
At least with the putties, there were multiple times where the putties actually got hits in. So you at least went, oh, they can fight. The demons in this movie suck. None of them could fight.
Episodes.
Hang on. I'm going to invoke the exact same thing you talked about earlier, and I'm going to bring it back.
Yes.
Did it really affect your enjoyment of the movie?
No, that's why I'm still giving it one up.
They didn't get hit by one of the.
No, I'm still giving it one up. But
you're talking about making it real life at a certain point, and it's just not that. Of course, they didn't get hit because you need the main characters to look as fucking cool as possible.
One of my criticisms of this film is at no point did I ever feel like they were in danger. And like, I get it's a movie and you know they're going to win. Of course you know they're going to win. That's the movie. But at no point did I ever say the bad guys are threatening enough that I'm worried for the main characters. The only reason I worried for the main characters was of their own drama and the fact that she was a demon. None of the other monsters, maybe the Saja boys, because they were presented as slightly equal to them, only in music, because when they fought, they absolutely got their asses handed to them. But at least there was that. And actually, Hunter, since I mentioned the Saja boys, really quick before we get to the epilogue and the ending, I believe that's our last trivia, if you will.
It is, yeah. Saja Boys has a deeper meaning than you might think. So if you know anything about Korean, the word Saja can mean lion. That shows up in their logo, their branding a whole bunch. You see the image of the lion head, the join the pride and all that. But Korean folklore also has the Josung Saja. They're the Grim Reaper figures. They escort the souls of the dead to the afterlife, and typically they look like, well, guys wearing black handboks and those gats, those wide-brimmed hats, which is basically what the Saja boys look like as demons. So I feel like if you want to get like a real deep-cut criticism, if this is supposed to take place in Korea, why didn't they see that and go, Saja means lion, but they also mean demon. And then they show up on stage and they look like demons and they go, well, that doesn't seem like of course, I guess by then they were fully hypnotized.
They were tranced, that's what I thought.
So, yeah.
But the moment I saw them in the outfits, I went, oh, that makes sense. I don't even know Korean, and that makes sense. I recognize that from other movies that I have watched before. I had one other question, like a legitimate question when we were talking about the Saja boys, and I can't remember what it is. So we'll just skip past it. Let's get to the
Was it about how that one can see where he's going with his hair on his face?
That was
random trivia. They used the same body model for all 5 of them, but they just bumped Abby's model up by 20%. He's the only one with a bigger body.
I fucking love that dude's name was Abby, by the way. Do you know how dumb I felt when it took a minute for me to go, oh, it's the abs?
He's got abs.
I did the same thing the first time I watched it.
No more abs.
Her eyes were abs at one point.
They were. Boy, this movie's anime as shit. This is officially the anime that Hunter likes the most, by the way. Like, it is.
Well, hang on. Kiki's Delivery Service still exists.
We haven't done Kiki.
Yeah. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it does still exist.
We'll have to do
also, if they would just anime. If somebody would just do a supercut of all the cutscenes from the Final Fantasy VII remake, that might make the cut. That would just smash all of them together as a movie, and then that, because I was playing that game going, this is anime as hell, but I love these characters, so I'm gonna keep doing it.
That's where we got one of our favorite jokes of the constant silence of the
Oh. My favorite is this one.
Well, not like that one, Zach.
All right. What happens at the end? Ruby interrupts the Saja boys' performance with a new improvised song addressing her shame and self-acceptance. Man, she came up with that song quick. Good on her. And the other girls knew the lyrics too. Congrats. Which
no,
breaks.
They were doing like when they were building the other song. You play off each other.
Exactly. Which breaks Mira and Zoe out of Guima's trance, I hope. Reunited, Huntrix fight back and free the crowd. A repentant Jinyu sacrifices himself to save Rumi from an attack by Guima, giving his restored soul to reinforce her. Very Castlevania-like. The empowered Huntress defeat Guima and the remaining Saja boys, resealing the demons and creating a new rainbow, Han Moon. No longer ashamed of her patterns, Rumi celebrates with Mira and Zoe at a bathhouse, sharing tears of joy, literally. Afterwards, they meet their fans in public. That is the end. So, where do we go after this? What happens to these characters? Well, I mean, I guess technically they succeeded in their mission, so they just keep being pop stars, right? Like, that's it.
Yeah, in terms of an actual epilogue, you talk about other stuff. Obviously, there's plenty of open room for prequels. I think prequels are the most definitive way to go because we've already seen. Yeah, we've already seen a version of this. Like you could literally take it back to any genre of music and it would still technically work because we see that in the opening thing. I do think a sequel is probably not off the table.
It's already been announced.
Well, okay. What I mean though is not without these characters, but with the next generation of them. Like, what does the next version of them look like? Well, yeah, but I'm now talking like go ahead from this because if they succeeded here, it seems like based on that opening sequence, they cycle out about every 30 years or so, like whenever they stop being current stars. Yeah, so you could, I mean, shit, man. We've already been seeing futuristic versions of these kinds of cities, Big Hero 6 and all that.
Well, okay.
Just set it 30 years in the future, and what's the next run of them?
So you would have to include the fact that everyone knows they exist at this point, right? We're not talking about one demon in the front row that got stabbed.
It's just one awesome show, that's all.
No, fuck that.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Fuck that, man.
No, that's absolutely what it's going to be. First of all, they were going to transfer most of it. Yeah, and then when it was over, it just looked like special effects. I mean, that's totally what they're going with.
When the demon was there, she's like, cool costume.
Yeah, they're totally going with that.
Selfies before they get killed.
Brother, it's an animated kids film. At a certain point, you have to accept that it's not going to be that serious.
I get it. SpongeBob cooks underwater. I know.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's not that egregious, but still.
Point is, I think wherever you go with it, just don't make it soulless. Don't make it a cash grab. That's all I want. Like I don't
think they will. I mean, if these same people stay involved, I'd be shocked if they did that. Actually, you're talking about wanting to know like answers to all those questions about like how do they get chosen, where do they go? That works just as well with a sequel as it does with a prequel.
Absolutely.
Are these current girls involved in figuring out who the next generation is?
Their mission is finding the next set.
How do they? Yeah,
you have a Jubilee style character. The introduction to the
world. It's baby metal. They're the next generation.
it's that's J-Rock though. That's a different movie.
They have to go get them, and it turns out vampires are also real.
Oh God!
They need a group. Yeah, they need a group of.
Let me throw this at you. All right, since we're talking about this, so yes, it's the next generation. It's Rumi's, not even Rumi, because she, let's say she loved the ghost man that she can't have him. Let's say it's Zoe. Zoe has a kid. And that kid is going to be the next generation of Demon Hunters. But that kid rejects K-pop and wants to do country music. And it's a Korean country singer. And I think that would be hilarious.
Or, hang on, because I know we're not going to do the whole movie that way. It feels way too parody.
It does, yes.
They're just trying to get her into a genre of music, and she doesn't like K-pop, so there's got to be a montage of her trying a variety of other things, but none of them will actually activate the thing. So they have like a demon on retainer. They're like, run at her, and she's just like trying country, and they're like, nope, stop, that's not it. Go back, my lord.
Maybe it could be the spirit of what's his name, Jinyu.
Jinyu.
Yeah.
Jinyu. Maybe in some way he comes back and he helps with it. Like his presence is like, okay, run at her. No, stop.
Rumi could even do that. I mean, she's half demon.
She's half demon.
To some degree, she could activate.
Is she still half
whatever
demon?
Needs to be activated.
Because her little tattoos turned blue instead of pink, and now I think she may be
accepted who the fuck she was.
I think she's super angel
at the end, they just kind of look like scars because I'm pretty sure that they killed the Demon King and he's gone now.
But the demons are still okay. Well, goddamn. All right. So they killed the Demon King. That forces the demons to relive their pain and do what they do. But now she's also sealed all of those demons away from ever like being anywhere other than basically hell. Hunter, you know what it is? It's Ghostbusters.
I mean, to be fair, when they first show the guy, the demons come out of him.
And we only knew that plane of existence looked like that when he was in charge of it.
Yeah.
So I like to think that the demon realm is basically, and I thought this is where they were going to go for it at one point, because they were when they had first come back and they had all the demons with like signs and shit. I thought they were going to go with the thing of, well, the demon world is kind of like the real world, like the human world, just with demons. So they even love K-pop.
And it probably
without him
or
there
could be that. Yeah, I was going to say, it could be that's the case, because when he starts trying to infect the world, when the Han Moon is broken the first time, that's what happens. I mean, when you see when they reveal it, the darkness goes back.
How much fun would it be if they did a sequel and he invites Rumi to his world? Like, somehow she can go to the demon world because she is part demon. And it's just a fucking metropolis. It's this beautiful city now that he's not there, and everyone's happy. And
it's just Coco.
It's just Coco.
It's just Coco.
It's just Coco. Yes, yes. I'd love it. I'd love it. Lindsay, what about you? What do you want to add?
I need them to make little shorts of Susie and Derpy.
Yes, yes. And I want a bird. I want a plush of that bird.
I do too, but I've only found really expensive custom-made ones.
Are you telling me K-Pop Demon Hunters doesn't have a shit ton of merchandise out, including the bird?
I don't think the bird has a lot of merch. Like, it's all about Derpy. His plushie sold out within the first day of them putting it online.
What'd they do to us, Hunter? That bird is so much better.
He can gallop through the air on his paws, and I went, that's fine.
One of the new figures that's coming out later.
So, I get Derpy, and Josie was clearly a big fan of Derpy. I get Derpy as like the sellable creature because he's cuter, but come on, man. Susie's great. Susie reminds me of, I don't know if you guys are familiar. I know Lindsay is because we used to read Trash Bird together all the time, but Poorly Drawn Lines.
Yes.
He reminds me of a character from Poorly Drawn Lines. He's fucking hilarious, and he does nothing. This is like Iago on fucking Quaaludes. Nothing. But it's fine because it was still charming. To me, anyway. Anyone else want to add anything before I completely lose my fucking mind?
No, I think we got it.
Andrew Tate called Guy Fieri the N-word.
Why is every headline in 2026 like a fucking Mad Lib out of the back of a Mad magazine?
So this is the show for it. This is the show for it. I'll mention it on Thursday if I remember, but in case I don't. So, and then we'll get to the end of the show, I promise. InfoWars was bought out by The Onion, right? So they have Tim Heidecker kind of running it, which Hunter showed me. I didn't know that. That's hilarious.
Yes.
But do you know who they brought back to do segments now? Jim Haggerty. Uh-huh. Jim Haggerty was the guy in the Old Onion.
What?
He's the guy from the Old Onion videos, the host with the woman.
Nice.
They brought him back.
Yeah.
It's so
That's pretty great.
Funny. Thank you, God.
That's pretty great.
Zach, anything you want to add before we get out of here?
No, I don't. I think if they did a sequel, I think it should really be a prequel and not a sequel until I don't know when. But yeah, that's all I got.
They haven't given us anything yet, right? Like they haven't given us any.
No.
Okay.
Not that I know of. None of the people I watch.
Which I will give them the props. They will already have had the character models and stuff done. If they're doing the same animation style, most of the environment's already done. They just have to probably make a few extra things that way. But I know this first one took like 4 years to make. They're not going to give them another 4 years unless that director and writer are really, really fighting.
There's no way in hell they expect you to wait 4 years for the sequel on this one. It's so hot. Mm-hmm. I expect it if not the end of this year, next year. That's my prediction.
Sissy has a squishmallow, Shannon.
I want it. Give it to me. And that's going to do it for us here. And I can proudly say that animation... Lindsay, you know what? Congratulations. Let me get the button ready real quick. Hold on.
I had a successful month, finally.
I got a clap button.
Big time.
Yeah, this is the most successful month we've had, maybe ever, in terms of volume, obviously. But
given that we did eight this time around, there may be some others where it's close, but eight movies. And did anybody give any of them anything below 1 up, 1 down?
You were the only one to give 1 up, 1 down. I think all the rest of them were 1 or 2 up.
It was on Coco.
Yeah. So, Lindsay, here's an applause for you.
I stand by it.
Congratulations. Wait, wrong button.
I knew it. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
There it is. Lindsay.
I love refrigerators.
Lindsay did a great job. However, no, Michaela, that's what we're doing. Lindsay did a great job, but her work isn't over because now she has to save May.
From
Tanner.
Oh boy.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah.
For the first time ever, maybe. I was gonna say we're gonna have 2 judges. Hunter and I are gonna co-judge. But I might just take a attorney approach and try to help each side. I don't know. We'll talk about it after the show. But that's not important. I'm not the star of this. The star of this is Double H as your judge, Lindsay on one side. Moderator. Well, and judge. You do make the decision.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
And on the other side, Tanner, as we decide what we're reviewing in May. Is it going to be Mel Brooks or is it going to be the Muppets? We're going to find out tomorrow, Hunter, as we bring back arguably entertaining special events. Muppets versus Mel Brooks.
I looked earlier today. There are only 8 episodes of that show, and they all happened in 2022. It's been 4 years.
4 years. We're bringing
since
back
we've had an episode of Arguably Entertaining.
Right.
Yeah, it's something we did not long after we got out of COVID and started doing this here. And yeah, like I said, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a debate show. Lindsay versus Tanner, Muppets versus Mel Brooks, and whoever wins, they get the month. So I can preview that for you right now and tell you that if Tanner wins, Mel Brooks May, which will be a sequel, by the way. We did it last year, so that's why you won't be hearing some of the ones that you might expect. Last year, we did Blazing Saddles, History of the World Part 1, Spaceballs, and Robin Hood Men in Tights. This year would be Young Frankenstein, Silent Movie, Dracula Dead and Loving It, and The Producers. If Lindsay wins, on the other hand, then it's Muppet May, which would be the first time ever of doing that. We've reviewed at least a Muppet Christmas Carol, but I don't think any others.
2 thumbs up across the board.
Yeah, So yeah, it was. So Muppet May would then be the Muppet movie. That's the original from the 70s. Muppets Take Manhattan, Muppet Treasure Island, and The Muppets from 2011. So that's what's at stake.
I'm sorry, Tanner, but I know which one I want to win, and I'll try to keep it, ambiguous. That's
neutral,
unbiased, like Fox News. That's tomorrow, arguably entertaining, one of the first ones we've done in many, many years. And then on Thursday, of course, After Dark. And I got a lot to say about the indictment of James Comey, the White House correspondents that are shooting, etc., etc. Look, I don't fucking care what you think. I've been doing this for 11 years. You haven't paid my salary. You don't pay for my life. I'll talk about what I want. And this Thursday, I'm going to talk politics, and then we'll have something fun at the end. But I'm definitely talking politics. This is fucking horseshit. But tomorrow we're doing arguably entertaining.
We're going to finish being known.
Yeah, they'll know me on Thursday. I guarantee that.
We must be known.
And Friday, all new special edition of Overdrive. PZ85 Pro is hotter than it's ever been. Double H lost the title on Saturday due to very questionable circumstances, and it's already led to Mr. 100 and Big T being suspended for absolutely brutalizing Dalton Anthony before the loss finished him off. They're suspended for 2 weeks. What's going to happen next? You got to tune in this Friday, special day, 8:30 p.m., Overdrive. It's going to be extremely
Superstation.
On the Superstation right here, Twitch Zilla 1985. And then go listen to the rest of the episodes. That's it. For The Balcony is Closed. For myself and for Double H, for Lindsay, for Tanner, I guess, and for Zach, thank you guys for tuning in. Something, dance, dance, dance. Double H, take us out.
Oh, hang on. We can't leave yet, Shannon. First, I want to talk about those pants. Teddy bears and choo-choo trains? Really?